Hello everyone and welcome to the Complete Sports Updates. This is the show where the latest and trending stories in the world of sports are brought to you. My name is Abib Kuranga and joining me on today's episode is James Agboribi. Together we shall be taking through the rounds as far as sports stories in today's episode is concerned. Welcome to the show, James. How are you doing today?
Thank you very much, Abib. It's always a pleasure being on our program.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I like the subtle smile you are currently putting on. Maybe I'll definitely know what sparked, what could have sparked that. But yes, that's not why we are here. The African Nations Championship is currently up and running, and the home-based Super Eagles are in the competition. But unfortunately, Coach Eric Chelle's side lost their opening match against the defending champions of the competition, Senegal, which puts a dent in their quest of going into the latter stages of the competition. So, James, welcome back once more to the show.
Thank you very much.
Despite with all the happiness, the joy in us as regards to the Super Falcons victory, as well as the Tigers winning the FIBA Women's AfroBasket title right there. So, but reality check actually came as regards to the Super Eagles B, which they actually played their opening game against Senegal, the defending champions of the competition. So, what I thought about the game, the opening match against the Senegalese side?
Well, Abib, it was a sad one. What a way to make a return to the competition. Remember, the last time the Super Eagles B played in this competition was 2018 in Morocco. So who thought maybe they'll come, So it's like a pattern for them now because their previous two appearances, they lost their opening games. They lost in their debut in 2014 and they lost in the 2018. But they always find a way to come back. So hopefully this defeat to Senegal will not kind of put a dent or dampen their spirits, because I watched the game and to me, it wasn't a pleasant performance. They didn't really live up to expectations. From what I personally observed, were just too physical, just about brawn without brain. Even if you check out the Senegalese, fine, the two sides were very physical, but they were still trying to play. But in our own part, our players were just too, it's like they just couldn't do the basic things. They cannot even string passes together. It's just about running, trying to out-muzzle, your opponent. And unfortunately, what led to the goal was just miscommunication between the goalkeeper and his defenders. And the Senegalese player, Christian Gomez, just walked the ball into an empty net. So like I said, it's not a good way to start a competition. Because the other teams, they are bottom in the group standing and Group D. Congo and Sudan, they played 1-1 draw. So we just have to hope that the team will kind of regroup, because the pressure is on now, especially just like what you mentioned. We have the Super Falcons, they made everybody proud. The Tigers, they did the same thing. Now there's the turn of the men. People are already having doubts. People are already so let's just hope that it's just a blip. They'll be able to bounce back.
Yes, the goal actually was Senegal's only shot on target in the game. And what do you think would have gone wrong for a Chelsea side in that encounter?
Well, like I said, they just didn't play. They were just trying to match their opponent, the physicality and But what I observed was the Senegalese were still able to spring passes together. They were still trying to create something. They were still trying to probe. But our players, straight from the goalkeeper to the defense, they just they bypass the midfield, and you're trying to outrun your opponent, trying to outmuscle, and they match you in all those aspects. So. One thing that I think, like we said before we came on set, it's just a reflection of our league. That's why it's not surprising, because when you see the way they perform, our league side, when they go to the continent, what do? They always come out. Maybe they get to the group stage. From the group stage, they are out. You hardly see them get to the last four. When last the Nigerian clubs got to the last four, if I'm not mistaken, that should be 2010. That was Atlanta and Canopy, they met in the semi-finals. So it's just a reflection of the league. We've been struggling on the continent, and that's why what we are seeing, they can't just match up with this other opponent. So like what you asked, it's a defensive mix-up. There must be a communication between the goalkeeper. That's why the goalkeeper had to rush out, because it was already exposed. But unfortunately, he couldn't cut the supply. So like I said, let's just hope that they were able to bounce back and, and pick it up from there.
Okay, so Nigeria obviously haven't won the championship, and the highest they've gone was actually being runners up in 2018. Do you think there are changes that should be made for Eric Chelle's side to actually go all the way to win the competition this time around?
Well, with what happened against Senegal, there's no way that it's not going to like re-strategize. If it's what we watched against Senegal, I mean that performance will not fly. Because we still have a lot of tough teams. I've seen some teams, and I'm telling you, the Nigerian team doesn't rank. If you're ranking so far with teams that have played, they don't even come close. If it's what we saw against Senegal, I mean, you just have to up your game, because there are teams you will meet that they will play you off the park. From what I've seen, so they just have to play. But I mean, I watched them when they played against Ghana in the playoff, and we saw they did well. I saw teams. I don't know, maybe because some players have left. Some players left. They've gone to clubs abroad, and this competition is strictly for players who play in the domestic league. So maybe the likes of Papa Daniel, who have left, and like a couple of guys, maybe that's what is affecting the team. We never can see, but we shouldn't use that as an excuse. This is the platform for these guys now to serve themselves. And what better way, just play well, and who knows, maybe some of them might even get to the main Super Eagles team for the World Cup qualifiers.
Yeah, absolutely. With the presence of Sikiru Adimi, Godwin Obaje, Sadiq Ismail, Junior Unduka, there shouldn't be an excuse as regards to the Super Eagles be going all the way. But it is what it is. It is a game of football. We wish the Eagles the very best as far as their quest in winning the competition is concerned. So let's talk about the Tigress. Well, it's actually very, very amazing for the ladies to actually go all the way to win their 5th consecutive FIBA women's AfroBasket title against Mali, winning by 72-64. And it was really, really an amazing scene to see as the ladies were celebrating, and as well as the way the president also received them, just like what he did with the Super Falcons, also gifting them $100,000. Conferring them national honor as regards to that, as well as giving them a 3-bedroom flat, if I'm not wrong. Also,
I learned it's even I learned it's a plot of land.
It's a plot of land.
That's what I heard.
Okay. So, what do you have to say about the Tigress as regards to their campaign, their successful campaign in Ivory Coast?
Yeah, I think one thing I love about this, what they did was they unlike in previous editions, they never really spent a lot of time together. They just came in just a few days before the competition, but that this is a team that they know themselves. So it's just a little preparation and
the camaraderie.
Exactly, and I think they grew into the competition because they didn't really start off. They started with Rwanda, so when you start off with teams like that, you tend to see your lapses, blend together, gel, and I think that was part of the reason why they grew into the competition. Before they started meeting those tough teams, and they already warmed themselves into the competition, So I really wanted them to break that record. They equaled it with Senegal. Now they've broken it, so it's now left for other teams now to do the same thing. So and it was a tense game against Senegal, against Mali. This is the second time they defeated Mali in the final. They defeated them like 2 or 3 editions ago. So they proved that they are really the team to beat currently in Africa. Before it was Senegal, but now the Tigers, they've taken over. And the reward, I mean, I didn't expect the president to go that far because if you look at the pool, when you talk of football, talk of basketball, the pool is different compared, but I think what the president showed that if you do well, regardless of the sport that you are involved in, you'll be handsomely rewarded. And what a way to reward them. I mean, $100,000 for each player. The national honors and a plot of land, it doesn't come as in, so it's for me, I think this should be like kind of a motivation for other people who are into other sports that are not as big as football and basketball, that if you do very well, you're going to get rewarded. So, and this will spur them, and let's just hope that this will even help us in terms of like Olympics, because the last edition was pathetic for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So regardless of the sports competition you find yourself, just know that if you excel incredibly well, you will definitely be compensated heavily by the president of Nigeria. So thank you very much for the wonderful and insightful analysis as always on Complete Sports Updates.
Thank you very much.
Viewers, this is where we're wrapping things up as far as proceedings in today's episode is concerned. And do take care of yourselves and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.